Hey guys, welcome to Love, Life, and Politics, where I talk about love, life, and mostly politics. Per usual, links in the description below to all the people that I normally keep up with, as well as my subscribe star link. I will eventually get my BitChute link down there, and I'll eventually start posting a whole lot more on BitChute, because BitChute's on the up and up. Once it passes that level, it will be where everybody is at, because lack of bias really is a good selling point. Anyways, 3 things I'm going to talk about this week. The RNC absolutely demolishing the DNC. Mr. Blake shot by cops and riots ensue, as well as NBA boycotts. And then Boy kills 2 during the riots and after for the Blake situation. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is the RNC destroying the DNC. And the only thing I can really talk about is C-SPAN. C-SPAN is, I would say, people who aren't super biased go to C-SPAN. I think that's one of those, like, okay, it's not really politically affiliated with left or right. So that's a very good indicator of how mid-of-the-line people are looking at this politics situation. And the RNC drew 6 times more people on the first night. And I haven't seen any of the numbers. I myself have not seen. I'm sure the numbers are out there, but how the RNC has gone afterwards. I've just seen highlights of it, so to speak. And it's just night and day. Every single speech that I watched from the DNC was boring. Obama, their headliner, really boring. Kamala, boring. Joe, boring. And none of them mentioned anything that's actually plaguing people right now, unless it helped push their agenda that Trump is messing up the country. So they only talked about coronavirus because they can spin that. They only talked about quote unquote peaceful protests, but they never mentioned the riots that are going on right now. And they didn't mention how many Americans are now starting to exercise their Second Amendment rights and purchasing firearms. They didn't talk about any of that. And it was pretty much just doom and gloom, and their entire thing was about, I hate Trump, we got to get rid of Trump, we got to get rid of Trump, we got to get rid of Trump. And quite honestly, there's not really much more I can say for that. That's just really good news that the RNC is pulling a whole lot more people than the DNC. And Biden did not get any bump afterwards. Normally, at least that's what happened in the last election. Hillary saw a 4-point bump after her, the DNC, and then Trump saw a 4-point bump after the RNC. And numbers are showing right now Trump is getting that bump, but Biden did not get a single bump at all. And C-SPAN had a lot of people who were calling in saying that they're lifelong Democrats, but they are now going to vote for Trump and switch to Republican Party. You know how absolutely crazy and insane that is? It's good. I think this is good. And the production quality between the two are night and day. Like, the Republicans look like they're actually trying to win this elections, and Democrats look like they put it together in about 15 minutes because the teacher told them to. It really goes to show who cares. And one of them, the RNC, is very America central and positive outlook on what's coming up. And they exposed the media on their biases. They even had Nick Sandmann on there. That was clean. They had how do I forget this man? Dang it, how did I forget him? Anyways, black guy, friends with Trump, and he went on there, talked about how people who are calling Trump a racist are essentially insulting him, because why the heck would he be with friends with a racist for this long if he was actually a racist? You know, I'm kind of like destroying the narrative that Trump just hates black people. In fact, they had a lot of black people come up and kind of point out and talk about the good agenda that he's going and why they are now supporting him. And there even was I think it was a Georgia governor, not Georgia, I think he was in the Senate or House representative. He was one of two, a black Democrat from Georgia who came on there and he said, yeah, he's supporting Trump, and he is in office as a Democrat right now. And I do think that this is going to this is showing the bigger picture of what's going to happen coming forth, because a lot of people are not paying attention to the fact that so many people are disenfranchised right now, and they want the economy to be better, and Trump is going to provide that, and already is starting to provide that. And too many people are having their rights essentially stripped from them. Not rights, but freedoms. And the RNC pressed on that a lot. It was really about freedom, patriotism, freedom, patriotism. There's light at the end of this tunnel after the Rona. And it was great. Every single speech I saw was miles better than the best speeches I saw from the DNC. So that's good news. And that's about the only good news we got, because the rest of the week essentially went down to chaos. So a gentleman don't know his first name, I'm just going to call him by his last name, Mr. Blake. Situation arose. Of course, only one angle came out, but cops were called because there was some kind of disturbance, domestic disturbance. They get there, and they end up having, this guy has a warrant, outstanding warrant, and they go in there, they tackle him, they tase him, he gets out the taser, he goes into the car. We now know, as of Thursday, he was reaching for a knife. I think reports are saying that he's admitted that he was reaching for his knife and then got shot. And within 24 hours, riots in the streets. And I'm talking stuff burning, riots in the streets. And the governor said, of course, before any serious evidence or investigation was given, already saying, shooting the talking point, oh, another black man shot innocent, blah, 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 blah. Nah, bro, you're wrong. Blake isn't dead, by the way. He's just partially or temporarily, he's not fully paralyzed. I think there's a chance of him actually being able to walk again. And then Biden, of course, his people told him he had to say something about it. And all these people already spoke before the evidence was out, painting the picture so it makes it look like, again, racist cops, just like they did with the Floyd. And honestly, I fell for the Floyd thing. I didn't see the full evidence, and I already assumed that the cops were acting in bad faith. And the cops definitely were negligent, but they were not racist. Definitely not racist, and they just didn't do their job correctly. This case with the Blake situation, nah. Clear cut. The cops are telling you to stop. Your friends are telling you to stop. The cops are probably at this point aware of your rap sheets with domestic violence, sexual assault, I think with a minor. They know. Assaulting an officer is apparently on his rap sheet as well. They know what you're capable of doing. They tell you to stop. You already broke from the taser, and then now you're going into your car reaching for something. I'm sorry. Anybody who's out here rioting is an idiot. You're an idiot. You're what's wrong with the United States. Impatient people who jump to conclusions and then don't control their outbursts. And I'm sure a lot of you are just taking advantage of the situation for personal gain. 100%. Some people just like to riot for the riot's sake. I honestly believe that. Regardless, places are burning and polls are showing. My gosh, these polls are showing. It's helping Trump significantly, because there's only one side that is saying we need law and order, and another side that's saying it's all peaceful protest. Sorry, bud. The one that's living in reality and speaking the truth, that's the one that's going to win. And then the dumb behind NBA decided they were just not going to come play. Not that anybody was really watching it to begin with. 40% ratings down. Anyways, decided to boycott the games. And with their ratings already being down, it's ridiculous. And I'm already hearing reports that they're gonna start back up. I can guarantee you. Actually, I can't guarantee you. I can strongly assume. Yes, I can strongly assume. I would place a major bet that the people who run the NBA are already looking at the numbers, seeing that there's a 40% drop from where they were last year, and they know that this boycott trash is going to cut at their bottom line. And I'm sure their handlers were like, yeah, by the way, you don't come play, you don't get paid. And every single one of them, all of a sudden, they were just like, you know what? This boycott thing, I thought y'all were going to pay us to not play. But since you're not going to pay us to not play, I think our salaries are more important than our movement. Yeah. You already got the NBA to kiss your toe on everything else, putting Black Lives Matter everywhere because they thought that was going to benefit their bottom line. It did not. 40% decrease. And now you want to boycott. I hope it drops even more. I want all these organizations who keep on trying to get political when they should not be getting political and be trying their best to appeal to their entire base, so to speak, their entire customer base, instead of trying to pander to one. I hope that they fail miserably. And all these, and I think the only people who should not lose a ton of money are the people who decided to not participate in that. Those who decided, okay, I'm here to hoop. I'm just going to hoop. Everybody else who's taking the knee, you're a bunch of sheep, and I think you should be treated as sheep too. So if you're sheep and you want to follow your leader gets a pay cut, you get a pay cut. I'm 100% okay with that. Third story, and this is essentially a build off of that, is a young boy about 17 years old had apparently in his state, and they're allowed to carry weapons. I don't think there's some technicalities that are in there. But anyways, he crossed state lines. He's about 20 minutes from where he lived. And one thing led to another, and people started attacking him. And reports were saying that they shot at him first. And then he shot one in the head, another one while they were tussling, while they were trying to get the gun from him. Two of them died, and one of them got shot in the arm. And the guy is now in custody. And right now, man, before I even came up here, I was scrolling through my Instagram. A bunch of ignorant people were saying things that I guarantee you they haven't seen the video. I bet half of them have not seen the video itself. They're just, whatever my friend Tammy says, I'm going to repost it because I want to seem virtuous. You guys don't understand what you're talking about, and you're already talking about it. Me, I can guarantee you, I know way more than 95% of the people out there who are posting about this trash. But of course, I definitely need to do better. I'll make sure I'm able to get my sources, source them at the bottom. I guarantee you this channel is going to get a lot more sophisticated the more that it grows. And it's just the ignorance. It bothers me so much. These people don't know what they're talking about. They're regurgitating it because they think they're correct. And then the people who are posting it to other people who don't pay attention, and then it's going to keep on spreading. But what's happening now, though, is people are already awake. They tried this with the Floyd, and then the riots happened, and now support for Black Lives Matter is going down. Now they're trying it with this Blake. People already saw it the first time. It's not going to work this time. It's not going to. And I pray that even more support for Trump goes up during this. Because what it's going to do is the media keeps on pumping this because, number one, they think they're going to get the ratings. And number two, they think it's going to hurt the Republican Party and Trump. If the more they push this, the more support Trump gets, I guarantee you they're going to start condemning it. I guarantee you there's going to be less of the rioting happening. Why? Because the people who are enabling them to do this for political gain will no longer get the political benefits from doing so. And it's already started. Don Lemon was already talking about, hey, you better look at the polls, y'all. Y'all better look at the polls. Instead of talking about the lives that have been lost from these riots, the property damage, businesses, livelihoods completely destroyed because of these riots, he has to talk about the polls. That's what he wants to talk about. That's what they need to focus about, the polls. Not the U.S. citizens and the people out here who are trying to make a living for themselves, while not only you're shutting them down because of this cove, but you're also telling them, okay, we're going to let these other people riot and go out there and act a fool, and we're going to tell the cops to stand down because the cops are horrible and we need to defund them. These people are idiots and moronic, and we need to vote all of them out. Clean house. Clean house. And guarantee you, any Republican is going to be better than any Democrat right now. Guarantee you. Because the Republican Party is essentially walking lockstep with Trump. And Trump is the one that is saying, hey, we need law and order. I can guarantee you law and order is the one you're going to want 100% of the time. And good Lord, for the love of God, forgive me, Lord, for Pete's sake, please, people, you ignorant people, try and wait for the evidence to come out before you make your judgment. You have done this over and over and over and over again. You are so easily manipulated, it's offensive to me, and I'm not you. And a lot of masses are like that. I can't just blame the U.S. Shoot, Europe is just as bad, I would say. But oh my gosh, guys, just wait and know what is going on before you pass judgment and open your mouth. So many problems can be fixed in this country if people are just patient and wait for the evidence. If people were to just be patient and do their research before they speak on a topic. If people were patient and just paused, just didn't say anything and just waited. We're patient and we're patient. Patience. We live in a day and age where people are just scrolling through and they've got that dopamine rush every time they get something new. So they're just too quick. Attention spans are too short. And we need to fix that because clearly it ain't working. And I hope Trump wins in a landslide and it forces the people on the other side to rethink their tactics. You're not going to see it. I want all these companies who are anti-American to fail. I want all these companies who are pandering to the very small minority of people who want to get rid of cops to fail. I want all of them to fail, but fail in a way that another industry who does support our country, who does support our officers, are able to pick up those good employees and ship them over there, as in like to a different part of the state or a different company. I don't want people losing their jobs, but I definitely don't mind those who support what the leaders are doing in terms of dividing our country. Yeah, I don't care if they lose their jobs. I really don't. I hope that if it's due, that their wife picks up the slack in an industry that is not ridiculously biased. And if it's the other way around, same thing. It's really annoying how un-American America is right now and how dumb our populace has become that they believe everything that is said to them. I at least hear, I have liberals I watch, I have conservatives I watch, I have libertarians I watch, I have agnostics I watch, I have super anti-God people I watch. People out there don't make it their duty to have multiple points of view so they can rationalize their decisions. And that's what leads to this right here. For 4 effing years, you've been calling people racist, you've been calling them sexist, you've been calling them the N-word, as in N-A-Z, you know, the bad guy with the mustache. You've been calling them socialist dictators. You've been calling a group this for the longest. And then you act surprised. In fact, not only do you not act surprised, you don't even mention it when the people you have radicalized are out there burning other American stuff, killing other Americans. It's freaking infuriating. But that's the status of our country right now. I pray November we cook them good and they remember it. They remember it. I hope they're just wiped off. Such a major gain for the Republican Party that they are now forced to say, okay, if we want to survive as a party, we need to change our tactic and actually go back to appealing to as broad a base of the American populace as we can. And I pray black people show out for Trump. That will wake them up real quick. They'll stop taking your vote for granted and telling you the same BS every 4 years. I bet you won't be calling the Republican Party the racist party after Trump gets a ridiculous amount of the black vote. Now you got to watch what you say. Now you're saying 40%, 50%. Actually, maybe not 40%. 25%, 30% of the black population are racist. Nah, that's not going to work, bud. It's not going to work. Anyways, appreciate y'all for listening. I, again, adore you guys to go out and make sure you look at all the facts that are possible. Make sure you are the most informed in the room whenever you're having a discussion, because not only is that going to be good for you, it's going to be good for the people that you're discussing. It's going to be good for the well-being of your mind and your soul, and it's going to be great for this country. The more seriously informed people, the better our country will be. Anyways, appreciate you all for listening. Hope you have a blessed one. Stay safe.